So we're just going to do a quick briefing before we start, just to let at the back. And then once that happens, just, we'll let you know a signal. The sign is this. All right, so if you do this, please stop. All right? Yeah, so once this is shown, then you have to stop your pitch. If you don't, our guys at the back will just mute your mic. Okay? Just letting you know first, right? It's definitely not out of respect, but just to be mindful of time. Yeah? So the reason why it's 3 minutes is because the global finals, it will also be 3 minutes. Yeah, so we're just, in case you were to be the national winner, at least you get yourself, familiarized with the process, have a 3-minute speech, and then hopefully you can win the global finals as well. Okay, so for the startups here, this year we actually have 3 national winners. Last year we only have 1. This year we have 3, 1 from each stage: an idea stage champion, early stage champion, and a growth stage champion. Right? So we have some trophies there that we prepared, just for the national finals. So later on, look forward to your pitch. So if there are any questions from the startups? No questions? Okay, we'll start in 5 minutes time, yeah?
All right, thank you all for being here with me on a Friday afternoon. I hope you are as excited about this event as I am. Without further ado, let me invite Mr. Jarian Teo, Managing Director of Gen Singapore, to give his opening address. Mr. Jarian Teo, please.
Right, a warm welcome to everyone, judges, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to come down for Entrepreneurship World Cup Singapore National Finals 2021. Right, without further ado, I just want to share a little bit more about Entrepreneurship World Cup and then we'll begin with the pitches. So Entrepreneurship World Cup, this is our third year running. We've started in 2019, 2020 and this is 2021. It's great to have everyone back physically and we'll have it live stream on YouTube now. This competition itself is co-organized by Coach Sherwin's, Gen Singapore and HX. The global hosts are Miss Global Forum from Saudi Arabia. We do have Gen Global HQ in the US and TGELF in India, right, as an institution. Today we have with us top 10 startups, namely SportsZill, The Authentic Platform, Novotech, Megorium, Outpost, Oika, NDR Medical Technology, Bounty, Augmentus, and Acad Asia. We would like to thank our sponsors and partners, Amazon Web Services, ASEAN Youth Organization, Quest Ventures, Scape, Ecom Singapore, Dropbox, and HelloSign. Thank you so much for your support and various community partners as well. Right. So today we have with us our judges, Jeffrey Seah, partner of Quest Ventures, Jessica Huang, Executive Director of Open Space Ventures, Mr. Ravi Dran Govindan, Executive Chairman, MacArthur's Capital, Ms. Hui Ting Koh, Partner and CMO of Altara Ventures, Mr. Terence Tan, Managing Director of Providence Capital, Mr. Wen Long Lau, Associate Director of Tembusu Partners. Today's Entrepreneurship World Cup Singapore National Finals judging criteria as follows. We'll be evaluating your product, potential, predictability, people, and each startups will be given 3 minutes to pitch and 4 minutes of Q&A. Right, as mentioned, our top 10 idea stage startups. We have Authentic Platform, SportsZill, our top 10 early stage startup, Acad Asia, Bounty, Megorium, Novotech, Outpost, Augmentus. Our top 10 growth stage startups, Oika, NDR Medical Technology. Right. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite the Authentic Platform on stage.
So the Authentic Platform was founded out of a personal pain point. I have a younger brother who was diagnosed with mild autism spectrum disorder at the age of 4. In 2017, my family and I moved to Singapore, which is world-renowned for its quality services relating to learning disabilities. However, it took us well over a year to find the services that we were looking for, such as occupational therapists, academic tutors, etc. So the question arises, why did it take so long to find required help when it already existed? The problem is today that although there are people that need professional special needs services the way we did, and there are people that provide these services, there is no one effective, trusted way for users and providers to find each other and engage efficiently. And this is where our platform comes in. Our idea is to create a one-stop portal for services relating to ASD, ADHD, and other learning disabilities. We plan to connect providers with users, but also users with other users to share information, provide services, and create a community. Now, our market size with just ASD is well over 48 million individuals diagnosed worldwide. 50,000 of those individuals now reside in Singapore. In order to check the viability of our idea, we pitched to parent support groups in Singapore, the Ministry of Education, SG Enable, as well as at universities such as Stanford and NTU, where we won awards for our idea. Now, let's say you log on to our platform as a first-time user. You'll first be asked what kind of services you're looking for, as well as who you're searching for these services for. When you put these in, the platform then generates a list of services that are tailored to your needs. Now, once you click on a service provider profile, you'll be able to see a ton of details about them. But most importantly, you'll be able to see ratings and reviews left by other parents and prior users. These will be both positive and negative, so you can make the best possible decision for your ward. Now, we also have forums where you can ask questions as well as answer questions posted by other caregivers and lend support to the community. In terms of providers, we plan to source providers from the same region initially, after which they'll be required to go through a vetting process. And only once they pass this vetting process will they be successfully registered onto the platform. Now, although there are institutions that provide information regarding learning disability services, we aim to be different by analyzing the initial survey provided and creating a personalized list of choices. We include individuals with small and private practices that may not be available on other platforms. We enable each business and user to connect with each other on a personal level, as well as help them connect and engage with other caregivers. Now, our monetization model is based on a three-pronged approach, where we charge our customers a flat fixed fee of $12 a year or $1 a month. Our providers a flat fixed fee of $10 monthly, and also provide a platform for targeted promotions and campaigns. We plan to begin our operations in Singapore, after which we'll expand to Southeast Asia, then Asia, before eventually going.
After one judge speak, we will have to feed for you the mic before you pass on the next judge. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Try. No, actually, as of now, we are still, we haven't registered our company yet, and we're still in the process of developing our application. The pitches at the universities such as Stanford and NTU. Stanford was for a pitch competition in general when we first founded the idea. For NTU, it was to apply for a grant, which is what we're working off of right now. So we pitched for a grant, and we are basically bootstrapping the company for now. And once we start scaling our operations, then we'll start looking for investors. Sure.
Do you require any medical certifications or licenses to operate? Since this is a clinical condition.
Right. So one problem that we predicted initially was the need for medical certifications and licenses. Since we personally, the founders, do not have like the certification required to administer any kind of treatment or provide any kind of resources, what we mainly do is connect providers to users as well as users to other users. So since we're only providing a portal for them to connect, we don't need any kind of certification right now. So the providers will, the way we plan to kind of verify them is that we require them to provide either proof of qualification that they use in order to conduct their daily business. Otherwise, we also accept maybe for smaller businesses ratings and reviews that they've received from other parents that they can maybe provide to us so that we can evaluate their services. Thank you.
I have a question. In terms of onboarding users and also service providers, can you talk a little about your strategy to bring on as many both on the user side and also
Sure.
the provider side? How do you anticipate onboarding them at scale?
Sure. This is kind of a problem that we predicted earlier because we have to cater to both demographics. The way we're going about it right now is that we're first reaching
right, we'd like to invite the next startup, SportsZill.
So, hi, good afternoon, one and all. I'm Nigel, and I'm here to present on SportsZill. Sorry, we're waiting for them to bring up the slides. So once again, good afternoon. I'm Nigel, and I'm going to present on SportsZill. So we are a super app infrastructure hosting an interconnected ecosystem of mini apps for the sports world. So what we are seeing today is the birth of a new era, an era where super apps such as GoTo, WeChat, and Grab are the superheroes of the Asian community. Why I say this is because it's proof of concept that super apps are actually proof of concept that they are successful in forging communities and ecosystems in various industries. So what we are seeing in the sports industry now is a weak user experience and difficulty for businesses to go digital. So what we are trying to do is to find out whether is there a faster, easier way for sports industry to go digital. Sorry, the clicker is not working. Hello? Yep, so moving on. So our solution aims to help two groups. Firstly, athletes. They range from professional athletes all the way down to recreational athletes. Secondly, we also aim to support sports businesses. They range from organizations, sport-related businesses, all the way to government agencies. So we aim to create a super app infrastructure hosting mini apps that allows our partners to directly integrate their app onto our platform. This is the industry that we are operating in. Imagine I'm Nigel, a sports enthusiast. If I want to go for a sports event, I have Eventbrite and Club. If I want to meet up with new friends to play some sports together, I have Meetup. On the professional side, if I'm a coach, I have NROC and I have ActiveSG to book venues. Right, so where we aim to be is to be an amalgamation of all of these apps, right? To become the super app that amalgamates all these apps into one single platform to enhance the overall user experience for athletes and sports businesses, to make it faster and easier for sports industry. We also hope that this is a good time for us to come in because we can help businesses to emerge from this pandemic stronger. Our business model consists of 3 revenue streams: business subscriptions, commissions, and ad campaigns. So it is a very highly scalable revenue model, complemented by a similarly scalable cost model. Our initial startup cost is relatively low because everything will be developed in-house. Our key cost drivers are mainly business development, staff, customer success, and app maintenance. Putting them together, our revenue, you can see that our revenue actually scales significantly faster than our costs. So our team consists of the 3 of us, myself, Nigel, and Asnawi. So we come from a sporting background, and 2 of us come from previously national athletes background. On the business front, we share experiences across management, consulting, technology, as well as business development. So all in all, we believe that we are well suited to take the sports community to the next level, and we hope that you guys will be with us to make it a success. Thank you. Yes. Sorry? So we have actually interviewed about 32 of our network, right, who are coaches and running badminton academies, gymnastic training centers, right? So that's where we are right now. They are business users that are willing to come on board. Our app is under development. It's still in the what we call beta testing phase. Yep. Alex is actually the guy who is helping manage the development. Right, so we have a team of developers that are doing it for us. Our primary target consumer would be recreational athletes all the way to professional athletes. Yes, correct. But sorry. Yes, because end consumers, when they want to play games among themselves, they still have to book venues, and venue booking has come out to be one of the very prominent problems that actually the sports industry face in Singapore. Yeah.
You talked about three revenue streams. Which is the one you
Oh, okay. So the one that we put our attention on, right, initially will be the business subscriptions, right? Because if let's say we don't have too many people, we are unable to make revenue off commissions or even ad campaigns, right? So that's our initial strategy. But in the long term, what we are looking at is definitely the ad campaigns part, right, where we hope that businesses will run ads on our platform. Examples of campaigns. Yeah, so the people that will be paying for the ads will probably be people like equipment manufacturers, such as in the badminton world, like Yonex, right? So they can run ads on our platform to reach out to these users, right, sports users, right? So it's highly targeted, right, for their target audience. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, SportsZill. The next startup we have, Acad Asia.
Hi, everybody. That's not the first slide. And this clicker doesn't work. Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Nilesh, and I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Acad Asia. We're a mission-driven business which aims to empower educators everywhere. There are 95 million teachers around the world, and 60% of the teachers believe that they don't have access to relevant training needed to create engaging content for the 21st century learner. Moreover, there are 69 million trained teachers needed to meet the United Nations goal of universal education. So, we've developed Freeju, which is a global community of educators trusted by more than 100,000 teachers globally. Here on Freeju, teachers can access stackable digital credentials once they complete a wide range of professional development content which has been developed by global experts. This allows them better opportunities for improvement in their employment and income. Furthermore, teachers also get access to simple digital tools, allowing them to create engaging blended and hybrid content for 21st century learners. And because we are a community, the teachers also can collaborate, share ideas, network, and socialize with other teachers globally. The teachers absolutely love us because we offer them a secure and a very teacher-friendly platform, and our offerings come to them in English, Bahasa Indonesia, Vietnamese, Hindi, and several other Asian languages. And furthermore, our platform also includes local payment gateways for them to make payments easily. We have more than 100,000 teachers on the platform at the moment from 36 different countries, and our conversion from freemium to premium stands at a very healthy 16%. And with more than 10,000 positive video testimonials from teachers, our impact is clearly demonstrated. Our business model includes B2G, B2B, and B2C plays, and we have already seen that it is quite scalable and sustainable across the region. In the last 12 months, our user base has increased by 40 times and revenue by 260%, and this confirms our assumption that teachers need to be trained on a war footing. We are already cash flow positive, and we are raising $1 million to grow Freeju into other new markets as well. As far as our targets are concerned, we already have 50% of all the teachers for our 2021 target, and with Freeju version 2 just around the corner, we are quite confident of meeting all the revenue targets as well. We already have 100,000 plus teachers on the platform, but our aim is to onboard about 5 million in the next 5 to 6 years. And we believe that we have the best team possible with the decades of experience needed to be able to empower educators everywhere. We are also supported by technology, academic and venture acceleration partners globally. And to conclude, for teachers, it is important for them to have access to relevant, accessible, and affordable training programs for how do we move our students to the future if we Sure. Thank you for that. That's a great question. So we initially started developing the content ourselves. So that was our initial pivot. And that experiment ran successfully. So now we have other content development partners like Julia Gable Education, for example, and we're bringing in universities from the US who have professional development content of their own. Now, as far as the content cutting across different countries, we focus on pedagogical and technical frameworks and life skills for teachers. So that content literally cuts across any country, any language, any culture, and also, it also cuts across various subjects as well. So, yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you are, how are you finding teachers to come and use your platform, and then what your revenue model is?
So, as far as getting teachers is concerned, we do have a B2G partnership in the Philippines. We work directly with Department of Education, so a lot of teachers come from there. But apart from that, teachers are recommending us to other teachers. So in terms of our actual ad spend over the last year, it's only been about $1,500 to $2,000. But teachers have been recommending other teachers to sign on. In terms of monetization, we have a $20 per year fee for the teachers as a membership to come on board, and they get access to all the training programs on the platform. And then we monetize in different ways. For example, in the Philippines, we are partners with City Savings Bank, where we are offering financial services to the teachers, because in Philippines, they need financial services as well. So we are adding on all these other monetization models to actually help us become cash flow positive the way we are at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry? Mm-hmm. Well, we are not an LMS system at all. We are a community. So in fact, we can work with any other LMS platform, and in fact, we encourage schools to continue using whatever LMS platforms they want to use, or they are probably already using. What we do is we support teachers, we help them upskill, we help them to understand how to build instruction design, and they can continue using whatever else they want. But the platform is more like an ecosystem, so there are a lot of other things which teachers need which are available on our platform which you will not find on an LMS. If I would change my name from Freeju, I would still keep it Freeju. I mean, Freeju is free education, free edu. So that's how it's basically started with Freeju. We would still stick with Freeju. Thanks. It's all the way from K to 12, all the way to corporate trainers. We have teachers coming in from everywhere. There is a lot of content, but like I mentioned earlier, we are only kind of providing content which basically cuts across at different levels. So it's not very level specific. It cuts across all levels, all languages, and all countries. We are already recognized in the Philippines, so the teachers who take our course can actually get their licenses. So already recognized in the Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you, Acad Asia. That was a great pitch. Next up, we have Bounty.
Hi, good afternoon, judges, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lex, and let me take you through the journey into esports. So, 18 years ago, I was ranked 8th in the world for this game called Warcraft 3. But no, I didn't make any money from this, simply because there wasn't much opportunity back then. There are 2.7 billion gamers in the world, which means 1 in 3 of us. Test. Sorry about it. However, only the top 0.1% of them are gamers, professional gamers. The remaining 99.9% of them are casual, amateur, and semi-pro gamers. And this is where Bounty is focusing on. Based on our market research, an average gamer spends about $1.86 on Bounty's platform, which gives us a whopping $5 billion in total addressable market size. Within the next 5 years, Bounty aims to capture 15% of Southeast Asia, 450 million gamers, giving us 125 million in serviceable, obtainable market size. So let me introduce to you Yota as well as Gary. Yota is a tournament organizer and Gary is a casual gamer. They both have the same issue as I do, which is how to make money from gaming. But with Bounty, this changes. So I'll take you through a journey of what Yota can do on our platform, which is to create a tournament easily within 1 minute. So first, he can select which kind of games he wants to use. Then, is it for individual or for multiple teams? As well as what kind of a system to utilize. In this case, it's a single elimination and for 32 participants. So with that, he can also decide what kind of tournament name he wants and when it starts and ends. And in this case, it's a prize pool of $50. So with that, he can toggle on the feature called prize guarantee. And with that, we will escrow in this $50 with our wallet system. So this means that the gamers who participate in this tournament will definitely get the $50. So with this, he can also set that, oh, I want to have a $5 participation fee to be included in this tournament. And then with that, the participations have to come in from the gamers. So voila, and this is done within 1 minute. So with this tournament being completed, he will get $86 from this tournament organized. So let me show you how Gary makes money as well. He has already topped up $20 in his wallet, and he wants to join Yota's tournament. So with that, he just needs to register and put in the $5 into this registration, and he will get $45 when he wins this tournament. So in terms of revenue model, how we make money is extremely simple. First is through transactions. We take 15% off all the prize pool that is hosted on our platform. Secondly, we charge our advertisers between 50 cents to $5 for every quest that's completed. And then next, we charge our merchants 5% commission on our store. And then lastly, we charge our gamers a 5% withdrawal fee when they withdraw from their wallet. So this graph showcases our growth trajectory. Yeah, great question. So right now we are going through a very high touch approach, which is going straight to the tournament organizers that are based in Indonesia, in Thailand, and then getting them on board. They are our supply side of the equation. So each time we bring in these tournament organizers, they bring in between 50 to 500 gamers. So that's how we are getting in a lot of gamers right now into our platform. So we are solving the supply side, and then the demand side will naturally come in. Yeah, I think a lot of other platforms, they focus on being a better mousetrap. But for us, we are building an entire ecosystem. First, by solving it with a payment solution, of which other platforms, they currently don't do so. So we want to solve this with a trustless solution in place, so much so that when the gamers participate in our platform, in our tournaments, they know for sure that they will get the prize money. Whereas this is something that is being faced in the industry right now, where a lot of these gamers who participate, they don't see the money back, or they take forever to receive the money. So this is something that is crucial, and only Bounty has this wallet in place right now. Yes, that's right. We have integrated this into our platform with the help of Rapid, and then this is what we are utilizing to reach out to the entire Southeast Asia market with multiple payment solutions or payment gateways incorporated as well. We are heavily focused in Indonesia right now, simply because we are also moving down the B2B route, which is more on the advertising angle. And to speak to advertisers, you need to have a large audience of gamers. And without having a large pool of audiences within one single region, then it will not be attractive for the advertisers to come in. So right now, our focus is Indonesia, then subsequently we will go into Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand. Yeah, great question on that, right? So in the current gaming industry, there are a lot of issues like that. And we expect the tournament organizers to be the judge of this tournament. And what we do on our end is just to facilitate these features, so much so that they have one additional layer of protection for the gamers. And if they have any issues, they can of course report to our team. And that's when our team can come in to mediate the issue. But in the current situation, there isn't this payment solution available in the market anyway. So we are taking one additional step to make that happen. Yes. Sure. Thanks to our organizers and also our partners, we have already crossed 120,000 gamers within our platform. So we are about 10% towards our 1.5 million gamers right now. We are doing it very differently from other platforms, right? In the sense that we are building a Facebook model, so much so that if we turn it on, once we turn it on, advertisers can micro-target gamers based on what kind of games they want to play, how frequently they play, what kind of gaming gears do they utilize. All this information will be recorded on our backend database, of which the advertisers can micro-target and set what are the criteria, what's the budget, and what's the demographics that they want to go after. So that's why our main goal right now is to achieve as many users as possible within one single region, and then subsequently we can open up and conquer other regions within Southeast Asia. So that would be extremely attractive for the advertisers from a pay-per-click model that Facebook does.
All right, thank you, Bounty. That was a great pitch as well. All right, next we have McGorham.
Okay, so hi everyone. At Magaram, we solved the big plastic waste problem, converting it into a new material for road construction. Over 7 years, we have prototyped 3 generations through different processes, configuring compounds and chemical link. Rather than use fully petroleum bitumen to build all roads, now we can use plastic waste. We are more sustainable, safer, and cheaper compared to traditional bitumen, which is currently facing a shortage right now due to oil refineries closing down. New bitumen plugs this shortage while solving the world's plastic crisis. So we are different from our competitors. Compared to them, we can recycle contaminated and mixed plastic waste. We are more environmentally friendly, and we are at least 3 times cheaper. The bitumen environmental harm starts from crude oil extraction to import and refining bitumen for roads. This harm is compounded by plastic waste incineration and landfilling. Magaram reduces all of this, creating a green and sustainable loop, converting plastic waste into a new material for roads. From plastic waste recycling to new bitumen production and building roads, our revenue streams come from collecting plastic waste and processing, as well as bitumen sale. In 2019, Singapore spent $68 million generating plastic waste. We want to convert 35% of them into new bitumen. We aim to replace 0.7% of the world's global bitumen market with new bitumen worth $800 million. So our final revenue stream comes from carbon credit, which can be generated through us reducing all of these different emissions. 57 countries committed to net zero emission, which means voluntary carbon compliance is shifting to become mandatory. So what all this really means is exponential growth for the carbon offset market. So we are creating more than a revenue model, but an entire ecosystem to incentivize all stakeholders to come together to effectively recycle plastic waste while creating a more sustainable construction sector. So our story began in 2014 when we co-authored a research journal and presented it in an international conference in 2017. We've put down 2 plastic waste roads in Singapore and won these different awards and fundings. So we've been featured in these different media. In 2021, we created Prototype Gen 3, worked with different LTA, different authorities, agencies, and stat boards to do pilot projects as well as relevant testings. So our team consists of myself with 7 years experience in the construction and sustainable sector, Seong Huat co-authoring 3 different research journals and leading a construction firm, Alfredo with 17 years experience as an asphalt plant and lab manager, and Keng Kiong 30 years experience as a machinist with expertise in fabricating prototype systems. Our core partners include Dr. Raymond Ong, professor from NUS Civil and Environmental School, as well as Dr. Xue Cheng, a sustainability researcher from A-Star. So our technology can literally pave the road to a sustainable future. Thank you.
You mentioned about prototype 3. How different is that to prototype 2?
So for prototype 2, what we can recycle is all plastic waste, but they still have to be cleaned and sorted, which means that in Singapore, it is extremely expensive and manpower intensive. For prototype 3, we can recycle contaminated plastic waste. So imagine your chicken rice. We can actually, without cleaning or sorting it, we can recycle it and convert it into a material for roads.
You talked about your solution being much more cost-effective than traditional means of processing plastic waste. Can you talk a little bit about why and how you're able to have a more cost-effective solution?
Why we are more cost-effective than other competitors?
Or versus the traditional means of processing plastic waste?
So the traditional means of processing plastic waste, especially in Singapore, it doesn't exist. What we do when we talk about recycling is we collect it and then we export it. So right now, because a lot of countries have banned export and imports of plastic waste, in Singapore we incinerated 900,000 tons of it in 2019. So right now it's not being processed at all, it's just being incinerated. And incinerating, there is a fee to it, it's $77 per ton. So what we aim to do is charge them $50 per ton for processing it in a greener and more sustainable way, converting it into a new material.
What are the things stopping your growth?
Right now, we are actually working with the different agencies and stat boards because we need to do pilot testing. So there are different conditions such as climatic condition, weather conditions that have to be tested over a period of time outside in the normal roads. So we have done accredited tests, and they prove that our product actually performs as well as the normal roads out there. So after a 12-month period, we'll start scaling up, and we'll work with the different agencies to do public roads.
Who will be your 3 dream customers?
Definitely Exxon, which we are speaking to right now because they'll be dream customers would be definitely plastic waste generators. Our technology is unique such that we want to secure a stable supply purely because our feedstock is also a revenue stream to us. So dream customers would be huge organizations that generate a lot of plastic. That's a revenue stream as well as a stable feedstock to us. The second one would be off-takers of new bitumen, which will be 5 asphalt plants in Singapore.
Do you see any competitors coming up against you?
So we have actually spent 7 years to do this research with quite a bit of money and time in it. So let's say even if someone has a lot of money and they're able to do it, and even if we cut short the time, it will be 3 years. Let's say we give them 3 years to get to the stage that we are at. By then we would have scaled, we would have done R&D, we would have secured long-term contracts with all the different plastic waste generators. So without feedstock, it is very difficult to have the confidence to invest in a facility that to recycle plastic waste. So that's where we see ourselves. So by then we would have.
You haven't seen anybody in the horizon yet.
They have. So basically, just now in my slide, there are people who are putting plastic waste into road. But what they are doing is they're putting it as polymers, which means that big pieces of plastic, they are grinding in a powder and adding the powder into the road. So that is a different technology from ours. Ours is replacing a material, whereas for them, they're adding plastic wholesale into the road. So it's very different.
How do you see your ability to scale beyond Singapore?
I think the thing is plastic waste, it's not a Singapore problem, it is a global problem. Roads is also a global commodity, which means that with this too, we need to find a partner that we can work with in an international country. From there, we can replicate the model, which is why we use Singapore as a model to bring over to the different countries.
Do you have any IP?
Yes, we are intending to patent because we created Gen 3 2 months ago. So right now we're drafting the patent and we will be submitting the patent in June.
Do you have patents for the previous 2 generations?
No, purely because those were not commercially viable. They were too expensive. We could only use clean plastic, which is the problem with all of our competitors right now. When you need to use clean plastic, you need to compete with this small little pool for clean plastic. You end up paying for your feedstock rather than.
All right, thank you, Megorium. Next, we have Novotech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like you to imagine a world where artificial intelligence preempts your healthcare needs without any perceivable sensors or wearables. So imagine just waking up, and by the time you're done brushing your teeth, our AI would have gathered your vitals, monitored your physical health indicators, as well as informed you of your mental wellness scores. Perhaps even recommending that you have more rest or more fluids that day, because the trends indicate that you may be falling sick. Hi, my name is Jonathan, founder of Novotech, and we have made this a reality. So why are we doing this? Because of the large number of people that we can help. Global aging and chronic illnesses are driving the need for health monitoring and analytics in a $40 billion industry, with a CAGR of 20%. Now, these markets today are largely dominated by wearables and physical sensors, but we see some inherent problems. Firstly, high costs are a barrier to adoption. Next, the obvious discomfort, so people don't wear them as often as they should. Lastly, because there's so many makes and models, there's no centralized ability to process all this data. So this is how we're disrupting the market. We've developed 2 key technologies, remote photoplasmography, or RPPG for short, and predictive AI. With RPPG, a simple selfie video from any camera is all we need to measure your vital signs with medical-grade accuracies. Compared to the pulse oximeter on my finger, heart rate, respiratory rate, and SpO2 values are spot on. And because we measure HRV as well, we have your mental stress values. Predictive AI then analyzes these vital signs and predicts any underlying health issues. No more costly wearables or uncomfortable wearables, and it only takes 30 seconds. We employ a very simple B2B SaaS model, with most of our revenue coming in from licensing fees or corporate or commercial fees from research projects. Most of our traction comes from clients who use our platform for corporate wellness initiatives, as well as to empower their employees to seek primary healthcare through our platform. With our clinical partners, we are on track for medical grade certification in early 2022, and we're also blessed to be endorsed by various government agencies and to be featured in the media. Now, we've already generated $500,000 of revenue this year, and we're on track to surpass our 2021 projections. So driving this exponential growth is a highly experienced team involving academic leaders in computer vision and medicine, as well as industry leaders in data science and medtech. What's more, we have established deals with industry leaders for in-car driver monitoring systems, liveness and fraud detection for banks, smart exercise mirrors in gyms, and lastly, insurance underwriting and customer engagement. Thus, truly revolutionizing the future of health and mental wellness with healthcare anywhere. Thank you. Okay, the question was about the technology. So a lot of interest obviously is on the RPPG side, right? It's not a machine learning model where we are comparing the physical features of your face to a known trained model. It's a physical measurement of your PPG signal. So very similar to the smartwatch that I'm wearing now, which will soon be created obsolete by us. The green light that measures that PPG signal on your wrist, instead of using that green light that has to be connected or optimized with an in-contact or in-skin contact sensor, we use the white light that's coming off my face, split that into the red, green, and blue spectrums, and then we get the data from there. You can do that with any smartphone, any camera. So right now we are also in smart mirrors. Kiosks are very common these days, so our technologies are also in the kiosks. Yes. Okay, so we have really three buckets of people who are really interested in this technology. One is the corporate wellness space. The other one is telemedicine, obviously, is very remote patient monitoring. These obviously would take off. And the last bucket is the ancillary or the peripheral industries like driver monitoring and underwriting and the sort. We see the greatest traction right now in corporate wellness initiatives because we are still on our way for that HSA approval in 2022. We have roadmaps to get it all the way to FDA. And we have already hit those accuracies required for FDA medical certified device for Class B. I believe it will slowly evolve. So right now, everybody is using it as a wearable substitute because I don't have to buy you expensive wearable. Use the phone that you already own, and you can take part in this program right away, right? We are already working on a project in Thailand that already has that in mind. Yeah. Those that we can mention outside of NDAs are on the slide, but the larger industry leaders are, for example, for the automotive industry leader, they make OEM dashboards and already have those camera arrays facing inwards towards the driver. They just don't have that technology to extract that PPG signal the way that we can do it. Yes, sir, yeah. So I came from a fighter pilot background, used to fly F-16s. It's very, very different from what I'm doing today. But within my career back then, I was in charge of electronic jamming and the sort. So signal processing was my interest. Yeah, exactly. And that's how all this started. Yeah. Yes, there are only 6 people in the whole world that can do this. Out of the 6, we beat all of them to be that automotive leader selection. And we can announce that really, really soon, so we're excited for that. But we beat all the other global competitors to win that contract. Based on my eyes, yes. 10 across the board, thank you, sir. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
How would you replace a watch, given that you use it for running and etc.? Whereas if you have a camera or you have something like that, what would you do for it?
Correct. So a lot of watches these days are really the primary tool is how many steps do I take? What is my heart rate when I run? So that's not really the specific use case that we are trying to replace. It's the passiveness of not having to wear a wearable. So get up, finish brushing your teeth with the smart mirror. You attend Zoom calls. You're on Instagram. Everything is passively just taking care of your health, especially if you're a person that needs it with chronic diseases and heart diseases and the like.
And base level cameras, what kind of cameras do you need to do this?
30 FPS, baseline RGB cameras. So even the cheapest smartphones in the market today.
All right, thank you, Novotech. Next, we have Outpost.
All right. So, starting a food business is a great way to earn cash. That's what my grandparents and my parents did many years ago, but today it's become increasingly difficult to do so. You see, to start a food business, supposedly you gotta have a restaurant. And while seemingly desirable, they're really expensive setup. They cost upwards of $100,000. And if you're lucky, you might make some profit. If not, it can be at a loss. True story, I too started a food business and had to shut down due to unsustainable cost structure. But on the flip side of this, you've got street food vendors. They cost less than $1,000 to deploy, a lot more mobile and resilient, and also profitable. But as we all know, they're not the most hygienic setup, therefore run the real risk of literally being taken off the streets due to regulatory and hygiene factor. Now, our theory at Outpost is that what if you can blend the best of both worlds? The cost effectiveness and mobility factor of street carts plus your high fidelity operations and hygiene standards of restaurants. See, deploying one restaurant can easily deploy 100 street carts and help fund 100 people to start a micro food business for themselves. So there's a real social impact component. So our goal at Outpost is to help level up your average street food vendors by increasing their economic, social, and operational standards. And in doing so, what we've realized is that we can also work with brands to help bring their food format to the streets, but without compromising on their brand integrity or operation standards. Now, how do we do this? We've got a full stack approach of hardware, software, and foodware. On the hardware side, We're reimagining your good old street cart. Think of it as a Tesla or street carts, but at a price point of a Toyota. Every one of our street cart comes with all the tools and equipment you need to run a professional and hygienic street food business. Price point as little as $1,000, and for a bit more, you could have your e-bike or even your motorbike version. But here's the best part. It should cost our vendors $0 upfront to get started, thanks in part to our financing program. It's called Street Smart Card as a Service, or in short, SaaS. For a small subscription fee and transaction fee, we give them everything that you need to get started, inclusive of connecting you to a trusted source of food, which originates from our brand partner, Central Kitchen. We then do a forward integration into payments platform, food delivery platforms, and also provide a bespoke mobile point of sale system to manage your business digitally, which coincidentally creates a new user experience between the consumers and merchants. We've got a few brand partners on board and hundreds more in the pipeline, and we've also got a social organization that is keen to send us 1,000 of their beneficiaries to start a micro food business for themselves and earn a living. Now, how do we make money? Just to be clear, we're not in the business of selling hardware. Our hardware are proprietary sales channel to enable commerce for the merchants, and then we partake in this value creation. But given the digital capabilities that we built in the carts, we can also introduce other revenue streams as well, such as digital services and such. Now, the market is huge. Every day, 2.5 billion people from around the world consume from street food vendors. In Indonesia itself, there's over 500,000 street food business that needs to upgrade their business to stay in business. Brands are looking for new forms of distribution, so there's definitely a huge market. But beyond the market and the timing, I think we've also got a right blend of youth and experience in our team that have generations of building food businesses as well as digital products. So sure. So for a start, we're rolling out in Indonesia, which is the biggest market here. But we're not just limited to that. There's a lot of countries that still got a very prevalent street food culture, which is not just limited within Southeast Asia, but also South America, West Africa, and so on. So it's a really huge market.
You mentioned that hygiene is a big differentiator, that your solution can help small micro entrepreneurs with the food carts have better hygiene. How do you do that with your proposition?
Sure. So it's key to note that the street food culture is an informal industry in itself, and therefore they're not regulated. So we believe with our experience on running food businesses in Singapore, we could bring the same level of hygiene standards to the markets that we're going in. How we do that is by, hence why the hardware bit is really important, right? We incorporate a cooler box or chiller box to keep the meat produced fresh, a water dispenser so you have access to clean water as you roam around the streets, and also a GPS tracker and power supply unit so you can run the business with electricity but without being connected to the grid. So those are the few things that we do to upgrade the hardware. But like I said, with all those bells and whistles, it should cost our merchants nothing because we finance it on their behalf and make it affordable for them to run.
Hardware or software component?
Sure. So for a moment, we do have the hardware component, hardware, software, and foodware. But we believe moving forward, we can uncouple the hardware and build a more scalable business with our software.
Who will be liable in the event of stuff that says food poisoning issues or any of those factors? How would you split that between the vendor or the user versus the company as well?
Sure, yeah, that's a good question. So the interesting thing is that this is something that which we worry about this part of the world in Singapore, but elsewhere, really issues like food poisoning and hygiene, it's acceptable there. Having said that, this is why we work with trusted brand partners who produce their food in Central Kitchen in a proper way, so that we de-risk such a thing happening by making sure that only trusted supplies of food get supplied to them. And again, our hardware help them produce their food on the streets in a much more hygienic way, so that de-risks that a great deal. Sure, yeah. So as you've seen in the pictures earlier, I know I blast through it. We've already launched about 25 carts. It's either on the ground or in the pipeline. And we're looking to deploy another 100, 150 more within the next 12 months or so. We've got several brand partners already in the pipeline.
So let me understand this. Your food that's served from each cart vendor is produced in the Central Kitchen and then sent to all the different carts.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Logistical mechanism.
No. Yeah, so obviously, there's the moment you have hardware, there's logistics and there's issues of that, but so far, our brand partners already have that capacity to do that. And so we have a hub and spoke model. We deploy our street carts around where the central kitchen or the stockist is, so we can draw down the supplies from there. Also, key point to note here, we use cars and trucks there, mostly motorbikes, so we can weave around the traffic pretty well.
Many of these food vendors, they are independent, they have their own recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the variations of a central?
Sure. You're absolutely right. So there's two types of client types. One is the more established brands, and then you're right, we also got to respect the unique factor of the individuals with their own recipe. Absolutely. So what we do is that we actually work with them to to license their recipes and co-create a brand and help them become more scalable. And we do this by being completely respectful to the existing recipe. Yep. It is challenging, but again,
All right, thank you, Outpost. Next, we have Augmentus. It's the last startup for the early stage.
Sorry, just let me check. All right, thanks. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Daryl, co-founder of Augmentus, a no-code robotics software company. Prior to starting Augmentus, my team and I came from the industry where we were developing and deploying robotic solutions for large multinational companies. And that was when we realized robotics has so much potential, so many benefits, but the reality of today is that over 80% of automatable tasks are still being done manually. And the biggest reason for this is due to the high difficulty and fragmentation that exists in conventional robotics. According to Deloitte and McKinsey, close to 70% of the cost of robot ownership lies in software and integration. So that is why my team and we came together to build Augmentus, which is the first no-code, fully integrated AI robotics platform that enables anyone, a non-technical user, an experienced individual, to program industrial and collaborative robots in minutes instead of what would normally take weeks or months. And this is all done on the iPad. So through the Augmentus platform, the user digitizes the work cells instantaneously without any CAD files, then begins plotting waypoints with the touch of an Apple Pencil. Either that, or they can select and project pre-designed robot path templates that allows for instantaneous robot development, deployment seamlessly. So for dynamic automation, the user simply needs to annotate and train the AI inference model, as you can see in this video, to program robots that see and move in 3D space. So compared to the conventional way of robot programming, that you have to hire robot specialists, purchase software, obtain CAD files, code countless lines of code, Augmentus drastically streamlines it, simply to scan, calibrate, plan, simulate, deploy. And we have deployed for a couple of clients right now, and here are just some of the matrices that we have been very proud of, especially the 17 times faster programming compared to the conventional. We make money through two ways. Firstly, through our software license that we charge on a per-year basis, and the hardware that is a one-time purchase. We have commercial clients and partners with some of the world's largest robot arm manufacturers, like AB, BB, Universal Robots, KUKA, and your end clients like Mitsubishi, Fujitsu, Abrasive Engineering, and many more as well. But we're not stopping there. We intend to acquire the entire 20 billion market for robot software and integration, but we are starting at surface treatment and pick-and-place applications, and we're scaling across the region through that. So this is our team of all-stars that have domain expertise in robotics and automation, with years of experience developing and deploying solutions for multinational companies like Rolls-Royce, IHI, and so on as well. So to sum it up, robot programming is difficult, we solve it, and we are on a mission to democratize robotic automation. So join us. Thank you. So we do both. We service system integrators that sell the hardware, and we also service end clients that already have the hardware, they just need the software. So most of the time in robotics, you need both the hardware and software. And most of the end clients that we work with, they already have the hardware. They just need an easier and faster way to program because it's very cost ineffective right now. Yeah. Yes, because the lead times are a lot shorter. When the end client already has the hardware, we just sell the software and we're done. But if it's a system integrator involved, then usually the lead time will be a bit longer. So yes, it's a lot more profitable when they already have the hardware involved. Yes. That's correct. We don't sell the robot arm. We are a pure software company. Yes. So we work with ABB, Universal Robots, KUKA. We currently right now we have partnered with 6 out of the 9 major robot manufacturers in the world. So that allows us the kind of brand agnostic flexibility that a lot of the clients desire. It's the end clients. So we work through channel partners. So system integrators are resellers of the software because this industry is built on trust. So when they resell, it's a lot easier. The lead time is a lot shorter. So system integrators are channel partners, but the ideal end client is a marquee client like Fujitsu, like Mitsubishi that we already have. This allows them to propel the software downstream a lot faster. Yeah. So for the first marquee client that we usually get, it takes us around 50 days to 60 days to secure. That's on average. Usually it's just paperwork and due diligence. But scaling downstream is a lot faster. So we have experienced around 20 to 30 days upon initial interest to just deploy. Because most of the time it's just deployment, and that's all, yeah. And the ideal cases want to share is that system integrators will do the deployment. We don't do the deployment. So the big marquee clients, they usually have system integrators in-house rather than external. Yes. Average age is usually, so on average, the robot arms can last around 8 years. Usually 3 years is the average that we've seen. But sometimes new customers, then it's brand new, for instance. But on average, it's around 2 to 3 years. That's what we've seen. As long as they support the current controlling standards, which most of them do, we can support. But the oldest that we have seen is like 6, 7 years. We haven't seen any older yet. Lose their job over this. So in most cases, we don't actually replace jobs. We actually augment their existing jobs. So the robot operators at the moment right now, they want to program these systems, but they can't. So we add that kind of flexibility. In terms of potential job loss, yeah. So I think these factory owners, they need to be interested to really adopt robotic systems. So the return on investment of robots and our software is a bit different, right? But if you're talking about robots in general, most of the time the return on investment can be gotten within 6 to 8 months. With regards to job loss, unfortunately, I don't have those specific numbers. But what I want to share is that we usually augment existing robot operators. We don't allow them to just eliminate jobs. Yeah. I didn't have time actually, so okay, I can't switch it. But basically, we already deployed a solution for pick and place and surface treatment applications in Singapore.
Thank you, Daryl from Augmentus. Now we're proceeding to the last group of startups, our growth stage startups. Could we invite Oika?
Good afternoon. I'm Tai, co-founder and CEO of Oika. Our mission is to lower the barrier to EV adoption. Now, we focus on two-wheelers because two-wheelers has more pollutants, 16 times more pollutants than car. And there are with our market, 250 million motorbikes, only 0.1% are electric. And you look at the numbers, 0.5% of the market is a $1 billion company. We know that the electrification of mobilities is inevitable. How do we know that? Sorry. Because we are beyond price parity already. Now, however, there are a few problems to solve. First and foremost, there are concerns about range anxiety, there are concerns about long charging time. So our solution basically is to use battery swap to replace batteries. Okay, this process I think is rather simple. Go to the station, scan the QR code, put in the empty battery and get a new one. Faster and cheaper, and cheaper than top of a tank of petrol. Now, however, everybody hear about battery swap. So what is so different about this? This is why. First and foremost, we are bike agnostic. We go to the market, we do not compete with the local bike manufacturer. Instead, we help them to convert their bike into a swappable smart EV. So we want to play our role as the so-called operating system and not the software. Okay, next is that we bundle e-motorbike with battery swap. Well, what it means is that it's like you buy a Singtel plan and they give you a free phone. So it makes owning an e-bike very simple. Next, we can scale to franchising. Because existing, obvious partners are existing workshop for ICE bike. So we can put the cabinet there, they become our sales point. And because we can also do asset light, because our IoT, our backend, allow all this data collection, and we can profit share with sales partner, with bike partners. In general, selling of iPhone is more through the telcos than in the Apple shop, Apple store. Let me go through why are we having the same phenomena. Because we match very well for those bunch of people that need electrification, and there are a lot of people, the bike manufacturer, that want to sell the electric. We are the perfect bridge in between. Now, right now, as of now, we have 10 bike brands that works with us, and almost 20 models of bikes has been converted. And we have 30,000. Yeah. Like I mentioned, we are more like an operating system. So much so that we position ourselves something like we are petrol company, so you can have whatever car, I give you the petrols. So we use the batteries as a medium for energy share.
So I saw a lot of this swapping thing in
Yeah, Gogoro, Kimco, yeah.
How do you see them, the problems is, the challenges in battery swapping, right? Because it depends on the condition of the market, and then you adjust to it. So for Unica, where are you looking at which markets and which are the markets that you want to do business in strategy?
Okay, actually our mission being to lower the adoption of EV, we are looking at developing market. Now, many brands, for example, Gogoro, without government funding, they actually have problem. You have Honda PCX, you have Vietnam, all these being fast. All these companies are not able to go out because they are overpriced, and they choose their own brand. So when they go into another country, they actually have to sell their bikes in order to use the battery swap. We are totally different. We work with, like, for example, Xiaomu, Via, Celis, all this. They are local brands, and they love us because their bike can't sell without the battery swap. But with us, they can sell the bike. Half a day. But almost any model. We even have converted 2 ICE bikes with our system. Unfortunately, I have no time to present. Actually, we're looking forward to, because batteries will improve, and there'll be fast charging. So actually, the next phase, we are looking at DC fast charge. Yeah, and so on. We are actually preparing for this already. But I think both will coexist for a while. We are in Cambodia, and we are in Indonesia. Cambodia is actually our, like kind of a POC kind of place. But Indonesia is where we're looking at. We are going to Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam end of this year. Well, really is connection. And also because we just raised our new round of funding just a couple of days back, and we are ready to go those places. Okay, Indonesia is 123. We just launched last year, August. And Cambodia is about 100. Comprises of about 40 ride share and 60 normal bikes. No, like I say, we work with the mic manufacturer. So actually, they are the one doing the conversion, not us. I just provide them with the bucket, I provide them with batteries, and it's theirs. Okay, typically one battery can last 50, 60 kilometers, depending. So we are targeting the daily rider now. We are seeing approximately about 1.5 swap a day. Okay, good question actually. Well, we converted Super Soco, okay. Harley a bit tough because, okay, it also depends on whether it's chain or whatever. But we can convert a high so-called, those Porsche bike we can. Just that it's, okay, usually the chain one is a little more.
All right, thank you, Yuka, for the great presentation. Our last startup for today, NDR Medical Technology.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Alan Goh, and the CEO and co-founder of NDR Medical. Today, we're going to power a new generation of robotic intervention. Do you know that the leading cause of death in the US is actually cancer and not COVID? Lung cancer in particular, globally, the mortality rate is more than 85%. And this is usually based on late diagnosis and late treatment. But why are we late? Because the standard of care today, the biopsy planning is done based on pre-annotated images and by different radiologists, and inconsistent because it's manually accessed by the clinicians. It's very clinician dependent. And the obstruction from the ribs itself, risky because of internal hemorrhages and pneumothorax. All in all this constitute to high level of inaccuracy. There's literally no effective way to target small, deep, and early stage nodules. So many companies have tried to resolve this issue by making more precise robotic system, image fusion by simulating and tracking the needle, as well as doing the bronchoscopic approach through the natural orifice, but none have seen the level of accuracy as we do with our system. With an integration of AI and robotics, our AI detection planning software is able to detect nodule in real time, the malignancy as well, map out the arteries and vessels, form optimum trajectory path. And this trajectory path is being executed with the usage of the robotic system for precise alignment. Ultimately, ANT, Automated Needle Targeting System, is meant to empower clinicians of all experience, junior to the seniors, for image-guided percutaneous access, targeting lesion less than 10 mm. Our accuracy is actually plus minus 2 mm, which is very, very accurate in the field of medical. With one successful attempt, single pass, and reduced complication and time. And this has been proven in our clinical studies. Ultimately, the business model includes our annual software licensing, 3 tiers, as well as single-use consumables and our capital equipment. All in all, at a price point of less than $250,000, and is still the most affordable robot in the world right now. Our team is made up of scientists and commercial people, add together with more than close to 100 years of experience from R&D, medical to commercialization. advisory board, member US, Japan, and Singapore, reputable partners, and most notably, NetJo has did a feature on us as the state of the art.
More than just a surgical assistant, Alan's robot can actually help train the next generation of surgeons.
Right now, we have about 15 patents granted, 2 trademarks, and demonstrated the equipment in more than 10 hospitals, 3 certifications, CE, HSA, and MDA. We started the project with Tan Tock Seng. We move on to SGH, and most notably, we have completed our 60 clinical trials in Japan. Huge market, worldwide, because collaborators, all those green dots are our collaborators right now. We are just at our first indication. Join us to conquer this multi of deployment. So we are deploying the next, we plan to deploy 10 units of the system in various hospitals for initial feedbacks before we launch it commercially. Because as we know, first product usually will get a little bit more feedbacks before we optimize further.
Where are the places you have?
So right now, Malaysia, Japan, Europe, right now we are trying to go into the US. So FDA, we already submitted, still pending 510K approval. Because with CE and everything, we actually have predicates because we have competitors in the market to prove our technology. But the NC platform, which is the lung access, that is still under development. That one we are going for breakthrough designation in year 2022.
Which particular part of the body is more likely to use this system?
Just as I've shown, is both on the fluoroscopic platform and the CT platform, ultrasound and MRI platform. Right now, the NX, which is the fluoroscopic platform, has really gotten all the certification for kidney access. The CT is CT guidance. That is for the lung biopsy. That one is still under development, going into clinical trial 2022 with Singapore General Hospital. Singapore born bred company. Yes, made in Singapore. We actually received our POC and POV grant in 2015. Ultimately, the whole thing works. 80% of it is software-based. Hardware, initially we developed our Delta robot on our own, is proprietary. And then right now we are developing the fully articulated arm robot to automate the entire process.
So if someone buys this, they have to buy the whole system, including the arm, it's not something that works with
Yes, you are correct in the sense they buy the whole system, but they are also able to buy the software itself for pre-diagnostic checkup to identify the nodule and path planning. The hardware itself, they can, just the AI part. They also can acquire the hardware. If let's say they're using one software, one station, but they have multiple use of the robot and they kind of recycle it for procedure to procedure. To be honest, for medical device, it's close to 80%. The hardware is relatively cheap, but because of the regulatory hurdles and go to market, it's quite costly. Who will be my next three hires? Right now we have a CFO, CMO. Most of the senior hires are already in the company. Right now we're actually raising for Series B to enlarge our software team to fully validate our AI.
What kind of software players are you hiring?
What kinds of software? Data scientists, those familiar with imaging, because most of the annotated image are required for us to prove our system. Now with lung, and eventually we'll go to liver, pancreas, and other parts of the body.
Quick question, what's your distribution model?
Yeah. So the business is only workable through distribution channels, either through typical distributor or through the MNC. So right now you can see part of my... Yes, Transmedic, which is the distributor for Da Vinci, is our distributor and shareholder. Microport in Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. Transmedic. They take three markets, and Microport, which is the top 5 medical device company, The 15 patents are global. Yeah.
Thank you. Right, thank you, NDR Medical Technology.
Hello again. Thank you everyone for your presentations, and of course not forgetting the judges who have been sitting here for the past hour or so, evaluating each and every one of you very carefully. I personally really admire each one of your speaking skills, and it's definitely a huge takeaway for a student like me. We will now actually be moving on to the judging evaluation, but before that, let's take a 15 minutes break. So feel free to go to the washroom, hydrate yourself, drink up, and if you do not have your water or you have finished your water, let our team know, and we will get you your bottled water. Yes. In the meantime, if y'all have not done it, you can follow us on our Instagram at EWC_SGP or our Twitter at EWC Singapore. Once again, it is at EWC_SGP for our Instagram and at EWC Singapore for our Twitter. See you later.
Possibilities are expanding. Since 2011, we have been reimagining the status quo in Asia, the most dynamic region in the world. We build game changers in media, commerce, real estate, retail, payments, mobility, and more. We are in key cities where innovation and disruption are taking place at an incredible pace. Asia's top founders get their first investment from us. We enable founders from different backgrounds and across industries to solve new problems and innovate for growth, prosperity, and better lives. The best kind of investors are those who are entrepreneurs themselves. We open the doors for founders to take bold risks and keep up with their ambitions and dreams. Sustainability is not a badge of honor. It's a growing concern, and we believe that businesses are an effective force of good. Profit with a purpose can go hand in hand towards a stable, responsible, and inclusive society. We are not just about commercial outcomes, but commercial outcomes with an impact. We are making new milestones with our portfolio companies, including industry leaders such as Carousel, 99.co, Caro, Petmill, Shopback, Xfers, Yummy Corporation, Party Post, MoveAs, and Gajigesa. Our portfolio of venture-backed companies operate in more than 100 cities across Asia, creating employment and advancement opportunities for thousands of employees. And we are not stopping there. We are moving forward, and we are moving further abroad. We welcome you to be part of the quest.
Technology innovation is everywhere now, creating tremendous value and wealth for startup founders and investors alike. But building successful companies as a founder or finding the most promising ones as an investor is an inefficient and high-risk process. Founders spend significant time raising capital rather than growing their business, while investors risk their capital based on subjective decisions and with limited access, resulting in many missed opportunities. At Startup O, we solve this problem for both founders and investors with our global startup platform for assessments, investments, and cross-border business scaling. We discover deserving founders and help them build world-class companies with venture capital and global networks. The platform provides efficient, merit-based access to required resources. It's not who you know, it's what you have built that truly matters at Startup O. It also serves select investors with a comprehensive diligence process and preferred access to the most promising opportunities for building a diversified portfolio of growth stage ventures. Let's see how it all works. Startups can register online from anywhere. Our data science-backed engine screens and shortlists startups for our investment assessment program, where they connect with global experts. These experts are seasoned entrepreneurs and domain specialists who conduct detailed one-on-one evaluations online. The evaluations, combined with our proprietary rating algorithms, generate objective diagnostic and identify the top-rated startups for investment considerations in under 8 weeks. These top-rated ventures are then showcased to associated venture funds and family offices, including Startup O Ventures, a monetary authority of Singapore licensed fund management company. These investors meet founders for diligence before making final investment decisions. But we don't stop there. We also help these companies build their revenues across geographies through a structured scaling program called Startup O Edge. It connects startups to decision makers at over 250 corporates across the globe. Founders love the online efficiency, a fair process, diagnostic reports, capital, and network effects on the platform. Even better, there is no upfront dilution of equity, no handshake fees, none of that. Through the platform, top-rated startups from across the globe have raised capital and experienced rapid international growth. Our vast and growing support ecosystem, spread across 15 countries, includes 25 institutional partners, over 120 global experts, and strong relationships with leading government agencies. We're trusted by over 2,000 founders from across 40 countries who are part of our growing community. Based in Singapore, we have a seasoned team with decades of experience in the Asian startup ecosystem and the investing world. Now, deserving founders can get discovered fast, raise capital efficiently, and connect globally to build a world-class company together. The best part? It works. For founders, for investors. Get started today.
Possibilities are expanding. Since 2011, we have been reimagining the status quo in Asia, the most dynamic region in the world. We build game changers in media, commerce, real estate, retail, payments, mobility, and more. We are in key cities where innovation and disruption are taking place at an incredible pace. Asia's top founders get their first investment from us. We enable founders from different backgrounds and across industries to solve new problems and innovate for growth, prosperity, and better lives. The best kind of investors are those who are entrepreneurs themselves. We open the doors for founders to take bold risks and keep up with their ambitions and dreams. Sustainability is not a badge of honor. It's a growing concern, and we believe that businesses are an effective force of good. Profit with a purpose can go hand in hand towards a stable, responsible, and inclusive society. We are not just about commercial outcomes, but commercial outcomes with an impact. We are making new milestones with our portfolio companies, including industry leaders such as Carousel, 99.co, Caro, Petmill, Shopback, Xfers, Yummy Corporation, Party Post, MoveAs, and Gajigesa. Our portfolio of venture-backed companies operate in more than 100 cities across Asia, creating employment and advancement opportunities for thousands of employees. And we are not stopping there. We are moving forward, and we are moving further abroad. We welcome you to be part of the quest.
Technology innovation is everywhere now, creating tremendous value and wealth for startup founders and investors alike. But building successful companies as a founder or finding the most promising ones as an investor is an inefficient and high-risk process. Founders spend significant time raising capital rather than growing their business, while investors risk their capital based on subjective decisions and with limited access, resulting in many missed opportunities. At Startup O, we solve this problem for both founders and investors with our global startup platform for assessments, investments, and cross-border business scaling. We discover deserving founders and help them build world-class companies with venture capital and global networks. The platform provides efficient, merit-based access to required resources. It's not who you know, it's what you have built that truly matters at Startup O. It also serves select investors with a comprehensive diligence process and preferred access to the most promising opportunities for building a diversified portfolio of growth stage ventures. Let's see how it all works. Startups can register online from anywhere. Our data science-backed engine screens and shortlists startups for our investment assessment program, where they connect with global experts. These experts are seasoned entrepreneurs and domain specialists who conduct detailed one-on-one evaluations online. The evaluations, combined with our proprietary rating algorithms, generate objective diagnostic and identify the top-rated startups for investment considerations in under 8 weeks. These top-rated ventures are then showcased to associated venture funds and family offices, including Startup O Ventures, a monetary authority of Singapore licensed fund management company. These investors meet founders for diligence before making final investment decisions. But we don't stop there. We also help these companies build their revenues across geographies through a structured scaling program called Startup O Edge. It connects startups to decision makers at over 250 corporates across the globe. Founders love the online efficiency, a fair process, diagnostic reports, capital, and network effects on the platform. Even better, there is no upfront dilution of equity, no handshake fees, none of that. Through the platform, top-rated startups from across the globe have raised capital and experienced rapid international growth. Our vast and growing support ecosystem, spread across 15 countries, includes 25 institutional partners, over 120 global experts, and strong relationships with leading government agencies. We're trusted by over 2,000 founders from across 40 countries who are part of our growing community. Based in Singapore, we have a seasoned team with decades of experience in the Asian startup ecosystem and the investing world. Now, deserving founders can get discovered fast, raise capital efficiently, and connect globally to build a world-class company together. The best part? It works. For founders, for investors. Get started today.
Possibilities are expanding. Since 2011, we have been reimagining the status quo in Asia, the most dynamic region in the world. We build game changers in media, commerce, real estate, retail, payments, mobility, and more. We are in key cities where innovation and disruption are taking place at an incredible pace. Asia's top founders get their first investment from us. We enable founders from different backgrounds and across industries to solve new problems and innovate for growth, prosperity, and better lives. The best kind of investors are those who are entrepreneurs themselves. We open the doors for founders to take bold risks and keep up with their ambitions and dreams. Sustainability is not a badge of honor. It's a growing concern, and we believe that businesses are an effective force of good. Profit with a purpose can go hand in hand towards a stable, responsible, and inclusive society. We are not just about commercial outcomes, but commercial outcomes with an impact. We are making new milestones with our portfolio companies, including industry leaders such as Carousel, 99.co, Caro, Hetmill, Shopback, Xfers, Yummy Corporation, Party Post, MoveAs, and Gajigesa. Our portfolio of venture-backed companies operate in more than 100 cities across Asia, creating employment and advancement opportunities for thousands of employees. And we are not stopping there. We are moving forward. and we are moving further abroad. We welcome you to be part of the quest.
Technology innovation is everywhere now, creating tremendous value and wealth for startup founders and investors alike. But building successful companies as a founder or finding the most promising ones as an investor is an inefficient and high-risk process. Founders spend significant time raising capital rather than growing their business, while investors risk their capital based on subjective decisions and with limited access, resulting in many missed opportunities. At Startup O, we solve this problem for both founders and investors with our global startup platform for assessments, investments, and cross-border business scaling. We discover deserving founders and help them build world-class companies with venture capital and global networks. The platform provides efficient, merit-based access to required resources. It's not who you know, it's what you have built that truly matters at Startup O. It also serves select investors with a comprehensive diligence process and preferred access to the most promising opportunities for building a diversified portfolio of growth stage ventures. Let's see how it all works. Startups can register online from anywhere. Our data science-backed engine screens and shortlists startups for our investment assessment program, where they connect with global experts. These experts are seasoned entrepreneurs and domain specialists who conduct detailed one-on-one evaluations online. The evaluations, combined with our proprietary rating algorithms, generate objective diagnostic and identify the top-rated startups for investment considerations in under 8 weeks. These top-rated ventures are then showcased to associated venture funds and family offices, including Startup O Ventures, a monetary authority of Singapore licensed fund management company. These investors meet founders for diligence before making final investment decisions. But we don't stop there. We also help these companies build their revenues across geographies through a structured scaling program called Startup O Edge. It connects startups to decision makers at over 250 corporates across the globe. Founders love the online efficiency, a fair process, diagnostic reports, capital, and network effects on the platform. Even better, there is no upfront dilution of equity, no handshake fees, none of that. Through the platform, top-rated startups from across the globe have raised capital and experienced rapid international growth. Our vast and growing support ecosystem, spread across 15 countries, includes 25 institutional partners, over 120 global experts, and strong relationships with leading government agencies. We're trusted by over 2,000 founders from across 40 countries who are part of our growing community. Based in Singapore, we have a seasoned team with decades of experience in the Asian startup ecosystem and the investing world. Now, deserving founders can get discovered fast, raise capital efficiently, and connect globally to build a world-class company together. The best part? It works. For founders, for investors. Get started today.
Possibilities are expanding. Since 2011, we have been reimagining the status quo in Asia, the most dynamic region in the world. We build game changers in media, commerce, real estate, retail, payments, mobility, and more. We are in key cities where innovation and disruption are taking place at an incredible pace. Asia's top founders get their first investment from us. We enable founders from different backgrounds and across industries to solve new problems and innovate for growth, prosperity, and better lives. The best kind of investors are those who are entrepreneurs themselves. We open the doors for founders to take bold risks and keep up with their ambitions and dreams. Sustainability is not a badge of honor. It's a growing concern, and we believe that businesses are an effective force of good. Profit with a purpose can go hand in hand towards a stable, responsible, and inclusive society. We are not just about commercial outcomes, but commercial outcomes with an impact. We are making new milestones with our portfolio companies, including industry leaders such as Carousel, 99.co, Caro, Hetmill, Shopback, Xfers, Yummy Corporation, Party Post, MoveAs, and Gajigesa. Our portfolio of venture-backed companies operate in more than 100 cities across Asia, creating employment and advancement opportunities for thousands of employees. And we are not stopping there. We are moving forward, and we are moving further abroad. We welcome you to be part of the quest.
Technology innovation is everywhere now, creating tremendous value and wealth for startup founders and investors alike. But building successful companies as a founder or finding the most promising ones as an investor is an inefficient and high-risk process. Founders spend significant time raising capital rather than growing their business, while investors risk their capital based on subjective decisions and with limited access, resulting in many missed opportunities. At Startup O, we solve this problem for both founders and investors with our global startup platform for assessments, investments, and cross-border business scaling. We discover deserving founders and help them build world-class companies with venture capital and global networks. The platform provides efficient, merit-based access to required resources. It's not who you know, it's what you have built that truly matters at Startup O. It also serves select investors with a comprehensive diligence process and preferred access to the most promising opportunities for building a diversified portfolio of growth stage ventures. Let's see how it all works. Startups can register online from anywhere. Our data science-backed engine screens and shortlists startups for our investment assessment program, where they connect with global experts. These experts are seasoned entrepreneurs and domain specialists who conduct detailed one-on-one evaluations online. The evaluations, combined with our proprietary rating algorithms, generate objective diagnostic and identify the top-rated startups for investment considerations in under 8 weeks. These top-rated ventures are then showcased to associated venture funds and family offices, including Startup O Ventures, a monetary authority of Singapore licensed fund management company. These investors meet founders for diligence before making final investment decisions. But we don't stop there. We also help these companies build their revenues across geographies through a structured scaling program called Startup O Edge. It connects startups to decision makers at over 250 corporates across the globe. Founders love the online efficiency, a fair process, diagnostic reports, capital, and network effects on the platform. Even better, there is no upfront dilution of equity, no handshake fees, none of that. Through the platform, top-rated startups from across the globe have raised capital and experienced rapid international growth. Our vast and growing support ecosystem, spread across 15 countries, includes 25 institutional partners, over 120 global experts, and strong relationships with leading government agencies. We're trusted by over 2,000 founders from across 40 countries who are part of our growing community. Based in Singapore, we have a seasoned team with decades of experience in the Asian startup ecosystem and the investing world. Now, deserving founders can get discovered fast, raise capital efficiently, and connect globally to build a world-class company together. The best part? It works. For founders, for investors. Get started today.
Possibilities are expanding. Since 2011, we have been reimagining the status quo in Asia, the most dynamic region in the world. We build game changers in media, commerce, real estate, retail, payments, mobility, and more. We are in key cities where innovation and disruption are taking place at an incredible pace. Asia's top founders get their first investment from us. We enable founders from different backgrounds and across industries to solve new problems and innovate for growth, prosperity, and better lives. The best kind of investors are those who are entrepreneurs themselves. We open the doors for founders to take bold risks and keep up with their ambitions and dreams. Sustainability is not a badge of honor. It's a growing concern, and we believe that businesses are an effective force of good. Profit with a purpose can go hand in hand towards a stable, responsible, and inclusive society. We are not just about commercial outcomes, but commercial outcomes with an impact. We are making new milestones with our portfolio companies, including industry leaders such as Carousel, 99.co, Caro, Hepmill, Shopback, Xfers, Yummy Corporation, Party Post, MoveAs, and Gajigesa. Our portfolio of venture-backed companies operate in more than 100 cities across Asia, creating employment and advancement opportunities for thousands of employees. And we are not stopping there. We are moving forward, and we are moving further abroad. We welcome you to be part of the quest.
Technology innovation is everywhere now, creating tremendous value and wealth for startup founders and investors alike. But building successful companies as a founder or finding the most promising ones as an investor is an inefficient and high-risk process. Founders spend significant time raising capital rather than growing their business, while investors risk their capital based on subjective decisions and with limited access, resulting in many missed opportunities. At Startup O, we solve this problem for both founders and investors with our global startup platform for assessments, investments, and cross-border business scaling. We discover deserving founders and help them build world-class companies with venture capital and global networks. The platform provides efficient, merit-based access to required resources. It's not who you know, it's what you have built that truly matters at Startup O. It also serves select investors with a comprehensive diligence process and preferred access to the most promising opportunities for building a diversified portfolio of growth stage ventures. Let's see how it all works. Startups can register online from anywhere. Our data science-backed engine screens and shortlists startups for our investment assessment program, where they connect with global experts. These experts are seasoned entrepreneurs and domain specialists who conduct detailed one-on-one evaluations online. The evaluations, combined with our proprietary rating algorithms, generate objective diagnostic and identify the top-rated startups for investment considerations in under 8 weeks. These top-rated ventures are then showcased to associated venture funds and family offices, including Startup O Ventures, a monetary authority of Singapore licensed fund management company. These investors meet founders for diligence before making final investment decisions. But we don't stop there. We also help these companies build their revenues across geographies through a structured scaling program called Startup O Edge. It connects startups to decision makers at over 250 corporates across the globe. Founders love the online efficiency, a fair process, diagnostic reports, capital, and network effects on the platform. Even better, there is no upfront dilution of equity, no handshake fees, none of that. Through the platform, top-rated startups from across the globe have raised capital and experienced rapid international growth. Our vast and growing support ecosystem, spread across 15 countries, includes 25 institutional partners, over 120 global experts, and strong relationships with leading government agencies. We're trusted by over 2,000 founders from across 40 countries who are part of our growing community. Based in Singapore, we have a seasoned team with decades of experience in the Asian startup ecosystem and the investing world. Now, deserving founders can get discovered fast, raise capital efficiently, and connect globally to build a world-class company together. The best part? It works. For founders, for investors. Get started today.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to see through our pitches today. I would like to now kindly invite Minister of State, Ms. Soon Xueling. Ling. She's also Ministry of Education and Ministry of Social and Family Development. welcome Ms. Sun for your guest of honor address.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for the kind invitation. I was watching the videos just now and it was extremely high energy. Thank you for inviting me to this platform on a Friday afternoon. I think we're very inspired by what we see and also the many young people who are online with us today. It is my pleasure to join you today for the Entrepreneurship World Cup, Singapore's MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signing and award ceremony. I understand that this is the third year that the Entrepreneurship World Cup, or EWC, is organized by Global Entrepreneurship Network, or GEN, G-E-N. As one of the largest pitched competition and entrepreneurship programs in the world, GEN brings together startups from around the world and provides a platform for youths and companies to expand their networks and venture globally. I would like to thank GEN Singapore for organizing the Singapore leg of the EWC and for its efforts in promoting the entrepreneurial mindset amongst young, aspiring Singaporeans to encourage them to think global, develop skill sets required to tackle global challenges by executing on their ideas, and to build an inclusive ecosystem where anyone can be empowered to start and scale a business. Embracing an entrepreneurial mindset is especially important in the future economy. And Singapore's economic strategy is weighted towards innovation and enterprise in the coming years, and individuals who need to be entrepreneurial to be able to undertake risk and accept setbacks. I would say perhaps even more so, given the current COVID-19 situation that we face. And at the MOE, we strive to help our students develop their entrepreneurial spirit. For example, our students are exposed to business and entrepreneurship concepts through CCAs and also many applied learning opportunities. But beyond promoting businesses and startups, an entrepreneurial spirit is about possessing a mindset of pushing boundaries, of wanting to constantly innovate and identifying breakthroughs. Hence, we're also preparing our students to be future ready by equipping them with skills and competencies beyond book knowledge, by adopting blended learning to provide them the time and the space to explore interests beyond the curriculum and support learning through multiple pathways. Our IHLs, Institutes of Higher Learning, are also putting in greater effort to nurture entrepreneurship and innovation, including having more incubator spaces to support budding entrepreneurs and their ideas. Successful business startups and enterprises are not just about generating profits, but also about seeking ways to do good for the society, creating a positive impact on the environment and society. I know this is what drives many youths nowadays to ideate, to co-create, to come up with solutions for pain points, for problems that they see around them, to pursue their passions in certain interest areas. And it is this, common interests that youths identify with each other, that they come together. They come together to try to co-create ideas. And in the process, sometimes a business idea comes up. So that desire to do good for society is something that drives many of our youths nowadays. And this is something I find extremely heartening. So I'm pleased to learn that our participants in the EWC, including finalists from this year's EWC Singapore, have done so in their respective ventures. I'd like to just share a few examples. Ms. Oh Chu Sian, a current undergraduate at Singapore Management University, had co-founded Megorium, a clean tech company that re-engineers contaminated plastic waste into a new material for more sustainable and greener road construction. Thanks very much, Chu Sian, for coming up with this idea and putting it together with your team. This is indeed something, that would help us look at how we can have a sustainable economy and build a future that future generations of Singaporeans can enjoy. I'd also like to mention Ms. Kavya Kasiraman, who is a recent graduate from Nanyang Technological University. She had taken a leap of faith and executed her startup idea, The Authentic Platform, And this is a one-stop platform that connects individuals with caretakers of individuals with intellectual disabilities and various providers of specialized care services. I'm also heartened to hear that Ms. Ling Fengru, co-founder of Turtle 3 Labs, a biotechnology startup from Singapore, had emerged as global champion for EWC 2020 with her venture of pioneering a new way to make cell-based milk and dairy production more sustainable and reduce the carbon footprint of the milk industry. These are just some examples I have gotten acquainted with. Sustainable ideas for the betterment of our society, and very importantly, bringing together like-minded youth to execute these ideas. Thank you very much for these wonderful, excellent ideas, and I wish you all the success in these ventures. Today, I'm happy to witness a MOU signing between GEN Singapore and partners, including Singapore Institute of Technology, SIT, Temasek Polytechnic, and SCAPE. With this partnership, students in GEN's SG's partner organizations can look forward to more upskilling opportunities where they can receive fully sponsored entrepreneurial programs to equip them with work-ready skills, and more entrepreneurial youth can also be empowered by gaining access to EWC networks and participate in global programs. There will be also more opportunities for them to interact with founders and investors and be involved in the startup ecosystem. Congratulations to all the participants of this year's competition. I hope that you will take the experiences that you have gained from this competition forward and continue to uphold the spirit of innovation in all that you do. I would also like to wish the top 3 national champions all the best when they represent Singapore in the global leg of the EWC held at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in November 2021. And very importantly, stay well, keep safe. Thank you and have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for that closing address. We will now be proceeding to the Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between Singapore Institute of Technology, GEN Singapore, SCAPE, and Temasek Polytechnic. For Singapore Institute of Technology, we have Vivian Chow, the Director of Applied Research, Innovation and Enterprise. For GEN Singapore, we have the Managing Director, Jaron Teo. For SCAPE, we have the Executive Director, Ivy Lim. And last but definitely not least, we have from Temasek Polytechnic, Wallace Lim, the Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Department.
All right, thank you, partners.
Thank you for being here with us virtually for this signing ceremony. We will now proceed to the award ceremony where we have 3 national winners for the Entrepreneurship World Cup Singapore.
Right, as everyone knows, it's the 3rd edition of the Entrepreneurship World Cup Singapore, and it was a tough fight. We have 10 awesome startups, all great in their own aspect, serving different groups, different industries, and becoming market leaders. We hope that this Entrepreneurship World Cup will take your startup to the next level and grow and scale globally. Right, nevertheless, if you do not win this competition, that's not end of the journey. Please do continue doing your best for your startup to serve your customers and bring value to society. Now I'd like to announce the top 3 companies, one from idea stage, one from early stage, and one from growth stage. These 3 companies will be representing Singapore in Saudi Arabia end of this year. We'll have all 3 companies to come on stage after announcement, and we'll provide and hand out the trophies to these companies. So the first company for idea stage, we have the Authentic Platform. Right. Next, for the early stage company, we have McGorum. Lastly, our growth stage company, we have NDR Medical Technology. I will now virtually hand out the prizes, and Miss Soon will be handing out on Zoom. Yeah. Right, that's right. Take a photo together, right? The minister in the background. Thank you, Miss Soon. Right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, thank you. Right, now before Miss Soon take her leave, we will now have a group photo together. Fellow audience today on site, could you please turn your chair 180 degrees, face the back of the hall, and we'll take a photo together. Shot. 3, 2, 1, smile. Right, thank you everyone. Thank you, Miss Soon, for gracing this event. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you everyone. I must say that this is one of the very innovative hybrid ways of doing an event. Thank you very much. Great work, Jaren and team. Great work, Gen Singapore. And congratulations to all MOU partners. Thank you very much. Okay, Jaren, I'll take my leave. I'm currently at CBAC Singapore.
Yes.
There was a media conference just outside, so I stepped out. So I probably have to go back in.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sun. Thank you for
everyone.
receiving. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Bye. All right, thank you, partners, for your time and your support for this MOU signing. Definitely so excited for the upcoming years. I believe next year we'll have a lot more companies coming from the various institutions, Temasek Poly, SIT, and SCAPE as well. For those who are watching live, if you are not from any of the institutions, please do also apply your interest through SCAPE. SCAPE is able to accommodate also all youth under the age of 35. They will be able to accept your applications, right? So not to worry, all youth in Singapore will be included in the Entrepreneurship World Cup annually. Thank you so much and have a great day. Next, we'd like to invite Mr. Jeffrey Seah from Quest Ventures. Thank you, thanks Jeffrey. We invite Ms. Jessica Huang. Thank you. Lastly, we'd like to invite Mr. Terence Tan. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Judges, just to let you know, these are actually items drawn by people with disabilities, right? And they came from Fairmarch, a social enterprise incubated at Social Collider. Thank you so much. Hope you appreciate and enjoy the gift. Thank you. Sorry, we have one more judges left. For semi-finals, we'll invite Mr. Julian Dillon. For our semi-finalists, yes, we do. For all. The other semi-finals judges can't make it today, but definitely would like to thank them for their time judging this Entrepreneurship World Cup Singapore. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to startups for your hard work and your dedication to your business success.